The crisis. You can't afford to ignore how high cortisol is stealing your sleep and doubling your health risks. Picture this terrifying reality. It's 3:47 a.m. again, and you're staring at the ceiling for the third time tonight, your heart pounding like you just ran a marathon, even though you've been lying perfectly still. This isn't just a bad night's sleep. This is a silent, hidden health crisis that is actively aging you right now. Your body is betraying you with your stress hormone, cortisol, surging to a shocking 400% higher than it should be at this hour. That isn't a typo or an exaggeration. It's a catastrophic hormonal spike that is literally aging your brain cells at double speed while you desperately count sheep. You must understand the science behind this immediately. The period between 10 p.m. and 4 a.m. is when your body is supposed to be in crucial deep repair, consolidating memory, repairing muscle tissue, and stabilizing blood pressure. But modern habits like late-night screen scrolling, hidden sugars in seemingly healthy snacks, dehydration, and even the timing of your medication are tricking your ancient survival brain into thinking it's daytime. This causes that catastrophic cortisol spike that yanks you awake like a sudden, terrible alarm clock. This process isn't just exhausting, it's life-altering, because every single time this happens, your body releases a damaging rush of glucose into your bloodstream, your heart rate rises, and your essential deep sleep cycles shrink. If you let this pattern continue for months or years, the research is irrefutable. Your risk of stroke, devastating memory loss, and overall muscle decline doubles. If you are constantly waking up in the middle of the night, your body is trapped in a dangerous survival mode because your essential cortisol curve is completely flipped upside down. If you skip this video, you are missing the simple science-backed solutions that could stop this biological breakdown tonight and immediately reclaim your peace. The breakthrough discovery: 6 1-tablespoon restorers that reset your cortisol. The good news, and the breakthrough that almost no one knows about, is that scientists have discovered powerful natural compounds found in everyday foods that can lower nighttime cortisol within mere minutes, helping your body instantly switch back into its necessary repair mode. The most incredible part? You only need one single, simple tablespoon of these substances. Forget the expensive, endless supplements, the reliance on habit-forming pills, or the sleep drugs that leave you groggy and hungover. Today, we are revealing 6 powerful 1-tablespoon sleep restorers that are proven by rigorous science to calm your overactive nervous system, efficiently rebalance your flipped cortisol rhythm, and help you fall back asleep fast and deeply. We've ranked them from 6 to 1 for maximum impact, and we promise you the substance at number 2 absolutely shocked researchers because in a clinical trial, it worked faster and more effectively than prescription sedatives. Yet, it's currently sitting quietly and overlooked in almost every single kitchen in the world. Stick around because you cannot afford to miss this secret. As a quick engagement, tell us where you are watching from in the comments. We're personally reading and responding to every single comment tonight. Now, without further ado, let's start with number 6. TBSP number 6, the sour shot that stabilizes your sleep. Our first powerful restorer is a golden liquid that science shows can start calming your nervous system before you even close your eyes. Raw apple cider vinegar with the mother. That murky, cloudy stuff floating in the raw apple cider vinegar that most people think looks gross is actually a collection of beneficial bacteria and enzymes known as the mother that directly influence your gut-brain axis, which is the superhighway between your digestive system and your stress response center. When you take 1 tablespoon of raw ACV mixed in 4 ounces of warm water about 30 minutes before bed, something remarkable happens to your blood sugar that most people never connect to their sleep problems. Your glucose levels stabilize. This stability is the key to preventing the infamous 2 a.m. blood sugar crash, which triggers your adrenal glands to pump out emergency cortisol like your life depends on it. A study from Arizona State University found that people who took apple cider vinegar before bed had 4% lower blood sugar readings by morning. A seemingly small difference that is actually the difference between your body panicking at night versus staying peacefully calm. The acetic acid in the vinegar slows down the conversion of complex carbohydrates into sugar, essentially putting a gentle speed limit on your digestion that prevents those middle-of-the-night glucose drops, while simultaneously encouraging your liver to produce less glucose during the night. The key to success is getting the raw, unfiltered kind with the mother, as this is where the probiotics live that help regulate your cortisol-producing gut bacteria. Dilution matters. You need exactly 1 tablespoon in no more than 4 ounces of warm water, not cold, as warm water helps it absorb faster and doesn't shock your system. The sour punch might make you wince at first, but that sharp taste is actually stimulating your vagus nerve, which acts like hitting the emergency brake on your stress response system. This simple drink has been shown to reduce nighttime cortisol awakening response by a significant 23% in people over 60 who took it consistently for just 2 weeks, proving your grandmother was right about her folk remedy, even if she didn't know the molecular science behind it. TBSP number 5, the silent mineral that blocks stress hormones. Next up is the lifesaver your muscles are literally suffocating for, magnesium glycinate powder. A deficiency in this critical mineral is forcing your nervous system to stay locked in fight or flight mode all night long, pumping out cortisol as if a tiger were lurking in your bedroom. Taking 1 tablespoon of magnesium glycinate powder in water before bed doesn't just physically relax your muscles, it actually blocks the specific receptors in your brain that cortisol uses to keep you wired and worried. The shocking truth is that 68% of Americans are magnesium deficient, but if you're over 60, that number skyrockets to 84%, and every single one of those people has elevated nighttime cortisol as a direct result of this overlooked deficiency. The glycinate form is crucial here because it is the only form that efficiently crosses the blood-brain barrier, unlike cheaper magnesium oxide that often only causes digestive upset without fixing your sleep. When researchers studied older adults with insomnia and gave them magnesium, their cortisol levels dropped by an average of 35%, and they gained almost an hour of glorious deep sleep per night. Your body uses magnesium to produce GABA, the master neurotransmitter that tells your brain to calm down and stop producing stress hormones. So without enough of it, it's like trying to put out a fire without water. The powder form works faster than pills because it starts absorbing through your mouth tissues the moment you drink it, bypassing the lengthy digestive breakdown process. The dose is also critical. 1 level tablespoon of most magnesium glycinate powders provides about 400 milliliters, the perfect sweet spot for sleep without causing unwanted digestive issues. Mix it in 6 ounces of warm water and sip it slowly over 5 minutes. Slamming it can ironically trigger a mild stress response due to a sudden blood pressure drop. This mineral is so vital for controlling nighttime cortisol that sleep researchers now consider magnesium deficiency one of the primary causes of middle-of-the-night awakening in older adults. Yet most doctors never even check for it. TBSP number 4, the anti-inflammatory shot that adds 84 minutes of sleep. Our 4th secret weapon is the surprisingly powerful tart cherry juice concentrate. Scientists were absolutely stunned when they discovered that tart cherry juice contains the highest natural concentration of the sleep hormone melatonin found in any food, but that's not even its most powerful benefit for crushing nighttime cortisol. 1 tablespoon of tart cherry concentrate mixed in water contains powerful compounds called anthocyanins that actually block the inflammatory pathways that trigger middle-of-the-night cortisol surges, effectively working like a natural anti-inflammatory that specifically targets sleep disruption. Researchers at Louisiana State University found that older adults with chronic insomnia who simply drank tart cherry juice twice daily increased their total sleep time by a remarkable 84 minutes per night and had significantly lower inflammatory markers that typically spike cortisol. The concentrate is essential because it is about 20 times more powerful than regular juice, meaning you only need 1 tablespoon instead of drinking a whole glass that would make you get up to use the bathroom all night. When your body detects any inflammation, even low-grade inflammation from arthritis or normal aging, it pumps out cortisol as part of the immune response, but the specific flavonoids in tart cherries tell your immune system to stand down. The natural melatonin here is also bound to other compounds, making it absorb slower and last longer than synthetic melatonin pills, which is why people don't get that groggy hangover feeling the next morning. Make sure to get pure tart cherry concentrate, specifically the Montmorency variety, as this has been the most studied. The intense tartness comes from the exact compounds that lower inflammation and cortisol, so don't be surprised if it tastes super sour. That's how you know it's working. Consistent use has been shown to restore overall cortisol rhythm disruption, meaning your stress hormones start following a normal pattern instead of going completely haywire at 2 hours a.m. TBSP number 3, nature's master switch for your entire stress system. Coming in at number 3 is ashwagandha root powder, an ancient herb that is literally called the smell of force in Sanskrit because it's supposed to impart the strength and calm of a stallion. But what it really does is act like a master switch for your entire stress response system. 1 tablespoon of ashwagandha powder in warm milk or water contains powerful compounds called withanolides that physically block cortisol receptors in your brain, essentially putting up a do not disturb sign that stress hormones can't ignore. A key study found that people taking ashwagandha had their cortisol levels drop by an average of 44% in just 60 days, with the most dramatic reductions happening during the nighttime hours when cortisol should naturally be at its lowest. Your adrenal glands, those tiny hormone factories on top of your kidneys, get completely exhausted from pumping out cortisol all day, and ashwagandha helps them reset and follow a normal, healthy rhythm instead of going rogue at night. This herb is what is known as an adaptogen, meaning it helps your body intelligently adapt to stress rather than just forcefully knocking you out like a pharmaceutical sleeping pill, so you build long-term resilience instead of dependence. Taking it about an hour before bed starts modulating your HPA axis, hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, the 3-part system that controls your entire stress response. The powder form is important because it contains the whole root with all its synergistic compounds, not just isolated extracts. Mix 1 level tablespoon in 8 ounces of warm milk. Dairy or plant-based both work, as the fat helps absorption and the warmth is soothing. The cortisol-lowering effects are cumulative, meaning it gets more effective the longer you take it, with most people seeing maximum benefits after about 8 weeks of nightly use. What makes ashwagandha especially powerful for older adults is that it also supports thyroid function. And since thyroid problems are a known cause of nighttime cortisol spikes, you're hitting 2 birds with 1 very powerful tablespoon. TBSP number 2, the shockingly fast blood sugar regulator. The substance that shocked researchers by working faster than prescription sedatives in a clinical trial is our number 2 restorer, raw honey from local sources. The perfectly balanced mix of fructose and glucose in raw honey creates a unique fuel reserve that prevents your liver from panicking at night and triggering what's called the dawn phenomenon, a massive cortisol surge that happens when your brain mistakenly thinks you're starving. 1 tablespoon of raw unprocessed honey before bed provides exactly enough liver glycogen to last through the night without triggering insulin spikes that would wake you up, working like a controlled, time-release energy source that keeps cortisol precisely at bay. Researchers discovered that consuming honey before sleep reduces the production of stress hormones by up to 50% and dramatically increases the release of melatonin. Here is the absolutely critical part that most people miss. It has to be raw honey, not the processed, filtered stuff in the bear-shaped bottle, because processing destroys the delicate enzymes and compounds that regulate your stress response. Raw honey contains over 200 biologically active compounds that cross the blood-brain barrier and literally calm the neurons that trigger cortisol release. Your liver can only store about 75 grams of glycogen, and when that runs out during the night, your brain hits the panic button and floods your system with adrenaline and cortisol to make new glucose from your muscles. The key is taking it straight off the spoon about 20 minutes before bed, not mixing it in tea or water, which dilutes its precision effect and changes how quickly it absorbs. The unique combination of fructose and glucose in honey actually stabilizes blood sugar rather than spiking it when taken in this specific 1 tablespoon dose. The honey also stimulates the release of insulin in tiny amounts, just enough to help tryptophan enter your brain, where it converts to serotonin and then melatonin, creating a perfect natural sleep cascade. Studies on shift workers who have completely destroyed cortisol rhythms found that honey consumption helped restore normal patterns within 2 weeks, even in people who had been struggling for years. TBSP number 1, the underrated amino acid that shuts down cortisol like a switch. Finally, the number 1 most powerful cortisol-crushing substance that will absolutely blow your mind is glycine powder. This simple amino acid that your body uses to make collagen is the most underrated sleep supplement on the planet, and when Japanese researchers studied it on people with chronic insomnia, they discovered something that should have made global headlines. 1 tablespoon of glycine powder, about 3 grams, taken right before bed, dramatically lowers your core body temperature by acting on specific receptors in your brain. This action signals your body that it is definitively time to sleep and simultaneously shuts down cortisol production like flipping an off switch. The researchers found that glycine reduced the time it took to fall asleep by an incredible 38%, decreased nighttime awakenings by 50%, and most crucially lowered cortisol levels throughout the entire night, not just at bedtime. Your body temperature naturally needs to drop by about 2 degrees for deep restorative sleep to occur. But when cortisol is elevated, it keeps your temperature high and your brain in a state of hypervigilance. Glycine overrides this by forcing that temperature drop through peripheral blood vessel dilation. What's truly mind-blowing is that glycine is the primary inhibitory neurotransmitter in your spinal cord and brain stem, meaning it literally tells your entire nervous system to power down and stop producing stress signals. People who take glycine report not just falling asleep faster, but staying asleep through the night without that 3:01 a.m. cortisol wake-up call that ruins everything. Mix 1 tablespoon in 4 ounces of water right before bed. It tastes slightly sweet like sugar water, making it incredibly easy to take. Unlike sleeping pills, you wake up feeling profoundly refreshed because glycine actually improves the quality of your sleep rather than just knocking you unconscious. Studies show that glycine increases the amount of time spent in deep sleep by 24% and was shown to improve cognitive function the next day better than people who slept longer without it, suggesting it optimizes sleep efficiency in a way nothing else does. This isn't some exotic herb from a remote mountain. It's an amino acid your body already uses, just not in sufficient quantities to combat modern stress and the cortisol chaos it creates. Reclaiming your birthright, combining the tablespoons for lasting peace. The 6 substances we have just revealed are not expensive prescriptions or magic pills. They are simple, natural compounds that work with your body's existing systems to restore the calm, deep nights you remember from decades ago. Whether you choose to start with the glycine that directly shuts down cortisol, the ashwagandha that resets your entire stress response, or even just the apple cider vinegar that stabilizes your blood sugar, each single tablespoon is a powerful step toward reclaiming your nights from the cortisol monster that's been stealing your sleep and aging you faster than necessary. The true beauty of this approach is that many of these compounds can be safely and effectively combined. Imagine taking your glycine with a spoonful of raw honey, or following your magnesium powder with a shot of tart cherry juice, creating a personalized, synergistic, cortisol-crushing routine that works for your specific sleep challenges. Your body desperately wants to sleep properly. It is fundamentally designed to sleep properly, but the pressures of modern life have completely broken the natural cortisol rhythm that your ancestors never had to think about. These 6 powerful tablespoons are your scientifically proven way back to the peaceful, restorative nights that are your birthright, not a luxury. Sweet dreams are waiting on the other side of that tablespoon.